Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Welcome to another video. I'm at PAX West 2025. Now, PAX is not typically known as a retro gaming convention. It's publishers, developers showing off their new products, their new games. But there are quite a few retro games here at the show. A lot of great stuff for sale. Let's check it out, guys. We're at Dialup Games, and they've got some really heavy hitters in the case here, including an N64 test cartridge, Little Samson, which is really famous for being rare, Wacky Races, loved that cartoon growing up, Lone Ranger, another show I watched when I was a kid, that was awesome, and the game is really excellent, kind of a hidden gem for the console. Some hard to find Game Boy and Game Boy Advance stuff here. Kirby fans, check it out, what a great row of titles there. Some more hard to find Sega stuff down here. Wario Land 2. I would imagine some of you are unfamiliar with the Wii Mini. They did make a smaller version of the Wii there. And here's the red Wii, much harder to find than the white version. Yeah, nice selection of box systems for sure. Halo edition of the Xbox. That's when I first got my Xbox at Target, that's what I got, the Halo version. Love it. They've got an Intellivision 2 along with the voice module. That's cool to see. Always nice seeing a 3DO with Gex inside. 2600 with Pac-Man and Combat. Got quite a few box systems here for sale, including an NES Advantage. Not including, it's not a system, but you get the idea. It's a joystick, and it's a great way to play Miss Pac-Man on the system for sure. Love that Killer Instinct 3DS, and check it out, guys, a Virtual Boy carrying case. I believe that was, I don't remember if it was for rentals or if it was just a case they sold. Let me know in the comments what that was used for. Got the Super Advantage boxed up there. Love seeing these boxed controllers and systems. Pretty awesome. Ooh, the Ice Blue, is that what they call that? N64, it's gorgeous. They've got a selection of Nintendo Powers, including this Earthworm Jim cover, issue 67, 20 bucks, and another one for 15. Yeah, I got stacks of Nintendo Powers here. That magazine has definitely gained a lot of collector interest in recent years. These Pokemon strategy guys have gone up way in price. That one's $150, and the 100. We got Kingdom Hearts for 25, Final Fantasy 8, 50 bucks. Yeah, a lot more and more people are collecting strategy guides as they love the artwork and perhaps the strategies, tips, and tricks. On the other side of the showcase, we've got some more hard to find titles. 3D glasses with that Contra game. If you've ever played that, Legacy of War, it's pretty interesting. Not my favorite Contra, but you gotta give them a hand for trying with the 3D. Give them props. And Mortal Kombat famously did not have blood and gore, the Super Nintendo version. CD-ROM backup card, or RAM card. 16 times the memory of Sega CD system lets you save multiple games. That is very hard to find. Got a number of Master System games, including Double Dragon, which did include the two-player co-op mode, unlike the NES version. Who remembers Reggie Jackson? He was a legend in the 70s and 80s. He was so incredibly popular. And when I got to see him play the Rangers, I was so excited. I was starstruck for sure. And we got a lineup of Genesis titles here, including Streets of Rage. Played Streets of Rage 1 and 2 with my son a ton back in the day. Remember Vector Man? That was sort of the Genesis answer to Donkey Kong Country with the graphics and platforming gameplay. It's quite a bit different game, but it definitely kept the Genesis relevant late in the life of that console, just like Donkey Kong Country did for the Super Nintendo. I like these cardboard box Genesis games. It's just interesting to see those because most of them have the plastic. Atomic Runner, Altered Beast, that was the original pack-in with the Genesis before Sonic the Hedgehog came along in '91. Acme All-Stars, 50 bucks for that bad boy. Kadash, Arcade Hit, $160 for Kadash. Crew Ball, love me some Motley Crue, and this is a fun pinball game. 50 bucks. It's kind of held its price over the last few years. This is a bizarre collection if you've ever played it. It's got some kind of updated versions of these games, and they're not great ports, but you know, it's interesting anyway to play a little bit different versions of the games. Rings of Power, that's a tough one. That was back when they used to include massive instruction manuals in the RPGs. Naughty Dog Software, pretty cool. Got some Saturn titles, including Congo. Remember that movie? People don't talk about that one much anymore. Corpse Killer, factory sealed for $100. That seems very reasonable. I might even come back and buy that. Not bad at all. Not one, but two copies of Shockwave for the 3DO. Guys, have you ever seen the 3DO Control Pad 2? $125 in the box there, sealed. Now, this is the first time I've seen this. My 3DO has the original controllers, and I remember GameStop blowing out the originals for $1.99 in a giant bin, but I don't remember the Control Pad 2. A couple of Neo Geo games, and guys, have you ever played Zaxxon's Mother Base 2000? The sequel to the Mighty Zaxxon. Very disappointing game, just not that much fun. We've got cartridges galore here, and some great Super Nintendo stuff. Super Mario Kart, Rock and Roll Racing, one of my favorite racing games of the era. Really cool. Early attempt at polygonal graphics for the Super Nintendo there. Love this version of Space Invaders with the split screen, 2-player mode. We got an entire row of N64 games. Pretty cool to see. Some Super Famicom imports there. Lots more cartridges and some Game Boy stuff here. Ready to rumble. I love this on the PlayStation. Never played the handheld version. And check it out, guys. A game that's worse than the Atari 2600 version of ET. It's just sort of a day planner thing from what I remember. No, this is the actual game. I remember another, actually it was for the regular Game Boy. ET was sort of a day planner thing or something like that. But this is actually some kind of adventure game. Never played that one. Alleyway was a launch title for the console, sort of a breakout clone. Excellent stuff here. Love me some Donkey Kong Land. Sort of the Donkey Kong Country equivalent for the Game Boy. And of course, they've got walls and walls of more modern stuff. Got some pretty tough to find NES titles up here, including one of the two versions of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And who remembers Hook? That was a kind of a fun movie. Not a bad version of Peter Pan. Rainbow Islands is a tough one. We're wanting $140 for that one. It's like a CIB. An assortment of Game Boy Pocket systems for $200 each. I love that 3D XL pattern after the Super Nintendo. And continuing around this showcase that's near the register, definitely got some stuff you want to have under lock and key here, including Zero, the Kamikaze Squirrel. It's a platformer that's very, very rare. And we've got some Choice PS1 stuff under here. Bomberman Fantasy Race, that's a tough one. R-Type Delta, love that shooter. Splatterhouse. Yeah, plenty of retro games to look here at PAX 2025. All right, and Pink Gorilla does this convention every year. They always have a massive presence, and when you see all these plushies, you know it's Pink Gorilla. Let's take a look inside. And yeah, they've got some Choice PS1, PS1 stuff here. Yeah, Spyro the Dragon, man, I spent a lot of hours with that game. That's a sealed copy for 50 bucks. Not bad, not bad. Very reasonably priced. All right, now showcase here, we've got a Wii U there, 150 bucks. That seems to be holding steady these days. as a price point. We got some nice NES stuff there in the background, including Kid Icarus, which needs a sequel. Let me know in the comments if you need to see another Kid Icarus game. That would be awesome, guys. This Beauty and the Beast game, 170 bucks. I love the box art, I love the movie, but man, that's a god-awful movie. It's terrible. I mean, game. The movie's great. And you might think the live-action Beauty and the Beast is terrible, but let me know in the comments. Super Bonk, that's actually a pretty fun Bonk's Adventure sequel, which I do have, but card only.
Yeah, that is weird. Sold the test Beauty and the Beast.
Hey, I can see me back there, but they've got some
gotta love custom boards, man.
nice PS2 and PS3 games here. Battle Garega. Never played that one, but 110 bucks. And we're getting into the PS4 era, and hey, a Jaguar game, all lonely there by himself. $200 for Rayman. That is, I love it. And Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, an infamously bad game. And over here on the wall, we've got some Saturn imports and some Dreamcast games. Everything from $2 or $3 a piece up to a lot. Let's just put it that way. Justice League Task Force, kind of an underrated fighting game. The one thing I don't like about it is the special moves are really hard to pull off. But other than that, I think it's a pretty solid fighter. Fun in games. It's kind of obscure, but it's only 12 bucks. And we've got a wall of PS Vita and PS1, PSP, and a whole lot more at Pink Gorilla Games. 3 locations in the Seattle area. Now, believe it or not, guys, there are more retro games here at PAX West, more than just these 2 booths. It's not traditionally known as a retro gaming haven, but there's some good stuff here this year. And Heritage Auctions is set up at this show, and they've got some incredible stuff here. This is the booth I've been working at. Check out these unopened Pokemon packs. Those go for about $400 to $500 per pack. And we got some Japanese Pocket Monsters games, unopened. Castlevania, one of my favorite games from back in the day. Ocarina of Time, one of the greatest games of all time. And unopened Game Boy Advance and Marvel vs. Capcom. Phenomenal Dreamcast game. It's a complete in-box copy of Sonic the Hedgehog, 9.6. That means the case and inserts look really great. Harvest Moon 64. Final Fantasy VII. Had a lot of attention on this game today. People have such emotional connection with that game. It was just a phenomenal cinematic, story-driven game. GoldenEye, one of the great 4-player games of all time. Doom, 10A++. Perfect copy of Doom. Eye of the Beholder RPG, and Toxic Crusaders. Guys, I can't believe it took me so long to finally watch the original movie from 1986, but I did the other day. It was so much fun. They've also got classic console gaming over here. The new stuff might have all the whiz-bang and wham-doodle, but there's something about the warm glow of a CRT and the weight of a controller that couldn't be less ergonomic in your hands. Yeah, some of those old controllers definitely weren't the most comfortable to hold. They've got Wii set up, Nintendo 64s, GameCubes, Sega Genesis over there. I haven't seen any Ataris set up, but we've got some NES over here, quite a few of them, and even a Sega CD there. Everybody's having themselves a good old time. They've got this incredibly cool setup over here where you can check out games to play over in the console area. Just like you were at a library or a game store or something, but like a library, free of charge. Pretty freaking cool. And to give you guys some of the scope, this is another console area with just rows and rows and rows of console gaming goodness. And is it really retro gaming without Duck Hunt? Watch how you say that, Duck Hunt. Well, there you go, guys. Another PAX Expo is in the books. PAX West 2025. My first time ever attending a PAX, and it was a lot of fun. I'm exhausted, but I had a great time. It was cool checking out the new games. I bought some stuff on limited run. If you check out my walkthrough of PAX, you will see those pickups. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comments if you were surprised by how many retro games you saw here in this video. And let me know if you saw one in particular that you would like to own yourself. All right, guys, thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. Be sure and let me know if you went to PAX this year, if you've ever been to PAX. We'll talk to you later.